That's a scary thing to remember, Ray. Welcome in, Blackheart. Sorry you're sick. I'm not feeling my best today either. Alrighty, folks. Let's get this started. Hello, happy Saturday to you. You blame CMP. But now you can just kick back, watch a little D&D. Hope all of you are well. As I mentioned, I'm not feeling my best either. I might be a little more on the quiet side, we'll see. But this is our 12th session of the riot was last episode. 12th session of the Four Forces of Nature campaign. If you want to catch up on any of it, every session prior to this is edited and up on my YouTube channel, !YouTube. I also have some God of War gameplay up there right now, playthrough videos I'm doing, so go check all that out. Also, don't forget to join the Discord. !Smart Discord. We talk about video games, people talk about anime, we talk about movies, videos, music. That's where you can find my schedule and everything as well. So definitely join on in on that. And as far as next week, thank you for doing the exclamation mark. Appreciate it. Fuck Tony Darm. Yeah, it's definitely Tony's fault. I'm trying to think if there are any other announcements. Oh, as always, I appreciate people being in here. There's a little message that'll pop up and remind you guys of this, but I have like my sound alerts off, TTS is off, and I won't talk very much to chat. I might type some things, but I'm trying my best to give my full attention to our DM in the group so that you know, I think it takes away from the game if they see me always like muted talking and looking at a different screen or something. So sorry, no TTS today on Days of D&D. But with that being said, I think it's time to get the dice rolling. So let's get over to them and we shall start. As always, thank you very much for being here.
Impromptly is basically looks like Tom Bodette from Motel 6. Just like everybody's Tom Bodette.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
All right, what's up, everybody? Let's D&D it.
Yeah, indeed. Right, we bring it in. We follow up last week's session with the chaos at the Cash Windfall nightclub, where we had intended to celebrate the birthday of the one and only Kurdan Truestorm, when, following the celebrations and the entertainment provided by none other than our very own Talalmus and the supporting jesters, the nightclub was besieged from both sides with not only a newly motivated revolutionary party of miners entering the building in an explosive manner, through to the subtle yet not so subtle introduction of the jester number 8, the behemoth hulking mass of a masked assassin entering the room in his attempt to assassinate Kurdan Truestorm in the middle of his own birthday party. But not only that, not only was Kurdan able to temporarily escape from his assailant before being kidnapped by the revolutionary miners, we had a near tragedy with the wounding of Nelson Martel, the father of our own beloved Claude Martel and Ricard Martel. And in the chaos, in the calamity that had been happening throughout the nightclub, Claude was able to identify from what he believes to be his former mentor, Niall, the High Elf he hasn't seen since his training with the Temple of the Helm, was none other than the assassin's assailant himself, but almost in a zombified, morbid-looking state with a focus, a 1,000-mile stare that focused on its target and only its target. One key casualty from the event that the party will have to deal with the repercussions of was the death of the Warden of the Scales, the Justice Warden herself, Delilah Brunswick, who at one stage was one of our initial suspects with regards to what had been happening within the town, especially with the confusion of the guards in our previous session. We follow up that last session with Claude and Logan, I believe, chasing after the assailant, Niall, the assassin, and the rest of our party dealing with the aftermath of the partially destroyed nightclub and the re-emerging relationship not only between Kay and Tobin, but the growing relationship between Logan and his new cloak. And from there, we get ourselves going. Niall himself, the assassin, has burst out of the rear upper entrance of the Cash Windfall nightclub as he rappelled up to the rafters that Logan had previously heroically swung down and attempted to tackle in midair. Unfortunately, just bounced off the hulking mass of murderous intent. Pursued by Claude and Logan out of the building. Claude, what do you want to do?
So I tried to go out the door. I think it was we determined the back entrance where we saw.
Yeah, on the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from the ground, I'm trying to watch him and follow down whatever road can keep eyes on him at full speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe I was also following Claude out the door.
You're also following Claude. Apologies if I got the names back in terms. I know it was definitely Claude going. Logan, are you going? Bo, I think you're right. You said you had wanted to move as well.
Yeah, I was following him on foot downstairs, and then Logan said he was going to climb his rope.
Okay, Logan, are you going up into the rafters again, or are you going to pursue on foot as well?
I'm going to pursue on foot as well.
Pursue on foot as well. So we've got the band of Claude, Bo, and Logan pursuing the assailant out the back door. And as they're running along, they can basically see the large assassin at this early stage of the evening. Dusk is starting to settle, so it's getting a little bit harder to see him, but you can still see the silhouette up on top of the rooftops as he's charging along. Before we get into that chase, Tommy, Kay, and Tell, you're currently in the Cash Windfall nightclub at the moment. Tobin is there as well. What do you guys want to do? What's your sort of thoughts in terms of what you might want to do next?
Tommy definitely runs over to Nelson to check on him. Mr. Martell, are you okay? I'm sure Ricard's still there, right?
Yeah, Ricard is there. And Ricard is there at the moment. And what you probably notice a little bit more about Ricard at the moment is in previous interactions with him, you've seen him, he's a bit passive. He's definitely like a prince style character in this family, not really a large responsibility, quite passive, and would look to avoid encounters as much as possible. He is visibly enraged at the thought of somebody hurting his father, and him feeling it's that natural combination of male ego of not being able to protect his dad, but fear disguised as anger, and he's just like, he is shaking with rage and what he's doing at the moment. He's just like, he's not even looking at you, but he is just...
Okay, so Tommy kind of like runs over and he still has his pistol out, and he's like talking in their general direction, but also very much scanning the room. Can I do a perception check if I see anyone else being like shady or coming towards this group? Like, in my mind, there was only that one attacker, but that might have been like a distraction. There could be more, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You can roll a perception.
Perception. 9.
So a lot of chaos. A lot of the main traffic of people had already left the building probably while the attack had been happening. What you're starting to notice now is some of the other wardens basically trying to almost kind of crawling out from behind uplifted tables and block tables, or in near the bar area where Bo had previously been standing. So you're starting to see ones like Cornelius Dramere and Mary Elray, and we've got Quentin Tusk, for example. Those are the 3 other wardens that are in there. So Truestorm, as we know, is currently has been basically apprehended by the miners. Delilah Brunswick is still, her body remains prone on the ground, eyes open, lying on her side, no movement since then. You can't see any breathing from the vicious swipe right at the base of her jaw, which caused her neck to basically snap back and twist in a furious manner, and she just hit the ground since then. And then, of course, Nelson Martell is at you and Ricard's feet.
And so I brought up, I yell over for Rianne and Telemus, and I'm like, guys, we need to get everyone out of here. And I kind of like look at Marcel. I'm like, can he walk? And talk, like indicating his father. I don't know if his father, if Nelson is unconscious or if he's
he's definitely unconscious. So he was in a lot of pain. Claude performed his laying hands on him, which cured the poison. But the pain and the shock, which Rian in particular is fairly aware, if she's aware of what's happening with Nelson. But if anybody understood what Nelson had went through at the moment, it would be her, because she had that similar effect, although she didn't pass out from the pain. But she also didn't have water thrown on her while she was having a lightning reaction to the event.
All right. I get Tommy as like people are crawling out, and like I notice like the other wardens. I kind of like to the general group. I'm like, do we have a safe space that we could go, a safe place we could go to? And I'm kind of like, since I'm new to town, I don't know where to. My first thought is take it back to the Marcel's house, but I'm trying to see if there's like a general consensus of the wardens.
Yeah. So pretty much as each of them are about to. So Cornelius looks like the one that's going to speak first. I'm gonna put up our pictures again of our wardens here. We have in our presence at the moment. Cornelius is, as you can imagine, the largest individual with the headgear. It looks like it's golden, but it's a lighter metal. It's not as shiny as gold, so it's more of an ornamental metal as opposed to a particularly valuable metal. Mary Elray, you can see she is trying probably as best as possible to keep a brave face, which is going. You can tell, Tommy, you've seen people like this. The gear, the persona. It's very much on and trying to demonstrate that you've not been rattled, but you can tell that's a little bit of an act that's keeping on at the moment. Quentin Tusk at the moment is very, very serene. Like, he's very calm. Like, you don't know much about him, but at this moment in time, you're going, does anything faze this guy, or does he just not care, or it's sort of an unusual combination of emotions going on. But before any of them have a chance to speak, Rickard basically is still ready. He goes, I don't trust anyone in this room, not a single person. It could have been, I don't know who it was. I don't know, my father. No, he's my father. I'm taking him back to my house. I don't know what's happened to my brother. That thing, a thing is going to get him as well. And he's just like, he's frazzled. He's just talking kind of back and forth to himself. Like, so you can see what his intent is. Like, he's got a real distrust now about anybody else in here.
Did Rianne or Telebus come over to join me? I'm throwing it out to them.
So, go ahead. You go first.
Rianne's in like crisis mode and able to really look around at the situation and kind of ignore her own trauma right now, but we really should just lock this place down and not have anybody leave. A few people have already left, and we need to make sure if anybody in here is involved that they don't like wander off and we don't lose them. And we are probably more protected here. We don't know anything else, and trying to leave this place and be out of cover, we should just like close the doors, guard ourselves in here, and keep everybody in the same room. Keep eyes on everybody, guys.
So Rian, at that moment, she was in the center of the room. She was originally the person who was in front of the assassin. She had done a misty step right in front of the assassin before Claude came over and started to notice with the mask swinging. So she's the only one that's kind of seen some form of recognition with Claude and the assassin at this moment in time. So that's what she knows. As she's scanning the room for things to basically board down the cash windfall, she does in that moment then have to remember, there's that massive hole in the wall that we're probably going to also have to lock down as well.
Yeah, I'll grab some of the tables that we've flipped over in the chaos and start moving them.
Okay, cool.
Barricade the door.
Cool. Tell.
Okay, so in my notes I have that Brunswick was there and she hit the assassin and she got knocked to the ground. I don't know if she's dead or not, but I was going to check on her, and if she's not dead, then I want to cast a spell, spare the dying.
So she is on the ground at the moment. I'm not sure you saw what happened. So if you don't remember, that's fine. I'll let you sort of interact with the body as you basically see fit, or her body as you see fit. So you're going to go over to Delilah Brunswick. You'll notice that she's on the ground. She's basically lying on her back, and her head is leaning over to her left-hand side, and her eyes are open.
Okay. Can I cure her wounds, or if she's about to die, spare the dying, or healing word?
So if let's do a medicine check, because you're trying to get a grasp on what you think the best next step might be based on your interpretation of her injuries.
24.
Okay. You're looking at it, and the clear signs that you're seeing at the moment is that she is dead. But just with the 24, like, you're walking over, you basically you would maybe walked over to her and you were maybe looking at the back of her or at the shoulder of her, but as you basically cross over the body and look over to the face, you can see eyes are open, there's no breathing, there's a large, basically almost kind of lump in her neck, as you can basically see like a bit of bone, like it got viciously twisted and it's kind of all sort of bent out of shape here. And she's been there for basically a couple of minutes in this chaos. So unfortunately, you now know she has died.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I was gonna say like investigation check to see if she has like anything on her. Maybe I don't know.
Do that. You can do that absolutely.
$19.
Yep. So one of the main things you're going to notice is, so I'm going to bring her up here. So she is in quite heavy gear. You can tell that she was probably about 5'9", 5'10", very, very solid build. This armor fitted her very well. You can tell it was made for her. She had like a very natural, strong beauty to her. When you're looking at her, you can see like with the gray coming through on her hair, but no sort of signs of trying to hide that. So she's very almost like a confidence in her appearance and who she was, a very strong character. Never mind the idea that she was the warden of the Scales, so she was head of justice in this area. The closest thing you're really going to find is this emblem here on her side. This tunic is very much, it's in line with this shape. It's basically a medallion. It's that shield of the warden of the Scales, the warden of justice. So that's what you would find on her. Anything else is probably more like notes of security and things out there in the building. Sort of a small map of the club and sort of little circles for like checkpoints or entry points and where security would be for the building. So,
do you have a wanted ledger that we can erase my name from?
He does not have anything like that on her.
All right.
That's weird. This list has my name on it multiple times. Just gonna put that back. Okay, so I guess. Well, sorry, I don't want to interrupt if Telmus has more.
No, I'm good. That's it.
Then Tommy, after here.
Sorry, Tommy. I'll just ask one last question. Tell, that emblem on the thing, are you going to leave that on her body? That's the only sort of thing that you found of sort of notice. Do you want to take that with you? Do you want to leave it on the body? What's your sort of thoughts? Just necessarily, you found something. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I can take it with me. I'll take her pin.
Okay.
Still about to take over as warden of the.
And the warden now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely erasing my name then.
It's high noon. Okay, tell me.
After hearing Rianne call out her thing and Ricard not trusting anybody, Tommy is very much like, all right, looks like we ain't going anywhere. Everyone start securing the doors and whatnot. And I want to do it. I want to be very like, I have my pistol out. I want to use an intimidation check to put people in line that like, no one's leaving this place. Kind of like almost authoritative.
Okay, go for it.
Fuck. 6. All right. Now listen, and because no one knows who Tommy is. Tommy trying to give these instructions also comes across a little ways. Okay. All right. So there's people that left, but like people that are here need to like stay here. We're here. So like the doors and stuff, let's close the doors and no one goes anywhere. And he accidentally drops his pistol and he like picks it back up. He's like, nowhere, we're not going anywhere, okay?
Yeah. I think at that sort of point, the wardens basically all look at each other because it's like, who the hell is this guy and telling us what to do? But they do actually understand probably the importance of that. So if anything, you've probably confused them more than anything. So them not knowing you is like, is this guy a little bit unhinged, or is he, so maybe it didn't come across as scary. It came across probably a little bit more unhinged and a bit erratic. So if anything, that's probably helped your case in that sense.
Tom is slightly embarrassed that he dropped his gun, so without like making eye contact with everyone, once he picks it up, he goes over and starts like fiddling with the doors, and like he just gets into action rather than looking back to see if anyone like took notice to him dropping his gun. So he's over trying to secure doors.
Yeah. Okay. Roll a deception check to see if you do sell that determination, that confidence that what doing.
10.
Okay. You basically quickly make your way there. You don't really give anybody a chance to actually review, to really take a look at you. While they were looking at each other, you basically went like, well, yeah, okay, we're going to go. I'm going to fix the door. And what doesn't help your case is that you walk over to the hole where the explosion was. And unfortunately, the only table that's nearby is probably a very, very small table. So that really kind of undercuts your tone that you're starting to block things up. But this is a really small table that you're just getting started blocking up this.
I set it down, but literally anyone could just step over it. So it's like the starting block trying to close the hole, but anyone can step right over it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, fantastic. Right, at that point, we're going to go to Claude, we're going to go to Bo, we're going to go to Logan. I'm going to get you guys to roll basically like an initiative to kind of start out with. Claude, because you started running first, you're going to add a 3 to your score. Bo, I'm going to, and then Bo and Logan, you're both going to add 2 to your score, just to give an idea of initiative. So, Claude, you had the idea first, so you have a slight advantage on getting a higher score. But naturally, speed and what they do and your state. So, add 3 to your roll. Bo and Logan, add 2 to your roll. Just a straight D20, please.
I got a 12.
7.
7 for Logan. Okay.
11 for Claude.
Okay. Bo, basically, you find yourself catching up to Claude quite quickly. You were near the doorway. You were behind the bar, so you've been able to clear the bar area and make your way very, very close to Claude as he is basically stepping up onto the stage, and he's just about to reach that back door. So you're very, very close behind him, and Logan is quite close behind you as well. So you've closed the gap on Claude, and Logan's a little bit step or two away behind him.
Okay, but we're not out in the alleys yet, or we're not outside?
Not yet. Literally in the next second, Claude's about to burst through that back door. You can see him. He's basically pretty much like ready to kind of shoulder charge through the door. He doesn't care if it's locked or anything, but you get the feeling he's just going to go straight through it. So,
okay, sounds good. Like Claude busts through that door. I'm going to wait, or I guess I'm going to catch up to Claude. Yeah, I don't have anything going on until I get outside.
Okay, fantastic. So as we're going along, we're basically going to do 3 different chasing dice at 3 different stages just to see who's close to the assailant and who is able to maintain eye contact or who loses them quite quickly. Okay, so with that, Claude, you're not going to add anything to your score. Bo, you're going to add a 1 to all of your rolls. And Logan, you're going to add a -1 to your score just based on the order, okay? So, roll the first D20 as you burst through the back door and you're trying to immediately identify where this assailant is. You can see along the top, he's basically he's got rooftops that he's going to run across. Bo is having a slight bit of PTSD of trying to jump across the rooftops and wondering how the hell does this guy do it so easy? How does he make it look so easy?
He's wounded though, isn't he?
He is wounded, yes. So that's giving you, although he was in front of you, it's still giving you a chance to see him, at least as he's initially on the edge of these rooftops jumping across. So, Bo, what'd you get with your +1?
Oh, roll. Sorry.
Yes.
I got nat 1.
Nat 1. Okay, fantastic. Basically, right as you reach Claude, the door was jammed a little bit. You run into the back of Claude and bump and end up accidentally taking a step back away from him. So you've kind of lost your distance on Bo with that. And if Logan doesn't complete an acrobatics check to dodge around you, he's going to run into the back of you. That's how this Benny Hill style chase has started with a lovely nat 1. Fantastic. Claude, 0. Add 0 to yours.
All right. Breaking out the physical dice for this.
Yep.
4.
Okay. Right. Okay. Claude, the reason Bo bumped into the back of you because you didn't connect with the door quite as well as you wanted to. As it turns out, it was actually a left hinge door instead of a right hinge door, as you assumed it was. So you do go through it, but nowhere near as smoothly as you would have wanted to. Logan, now you're going to have to do 2 acrobatic checks, or else you're going to bump into either Bo or Claude. So, first of all, a D20 just for your running. And then if that is over a 10, then you're going to do 2 different acrobatic checks to see if you get past Bo and Claude.
13.
13, okay, fantastic. So first acrobatics check. Once again, we're just going DC 10. So just get a 10 or higher, and you basically slip past Bo.
22.
22. DC 10 again, you're going to try to slip past Claude.
8.
Okay.
Wait.
Does anybody have does anybody have an inspiration dice from the last time?
Well, that's what I was going to ask him. If Logan, do you have any inspiration?
I think I do. The little icon's lit up on here.
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I believe I do.
You just click on that to take it off, and then.
Yep.
So that so it's adding a D6 onto that score.
You got this.
Five. So that's a 13 then.
13, fantastic. So you're basically doing that sort of whoop whoop dodging past Bo. You get past Bo and you nearly go into Claude, and at the last second you basically do a half spin around him, nearly trip over your feet, but now you are out in front and you're able to look straight up to your left hand side and you're able to see the assailant on the rooftop. And probably the first thought that comes to your mind is, that guy's got great technique up at heights. I really respect his ability up high. Like, if there's anybody that gets it, yeah, this is your territory. Okay, fantastic. Everybody roll again. So now it is Logan. You get a +2, and Claude and Bo add nothing to your roll. Logan, D20, add 2.
20.
20, fantastic. You are running along the side. What's your thoughts at the moment, Claude? Do you want to try to get up? Do you want to try to find a way to get up onto the roof where he's at? Or are you pursuing on the ground, just looking to maintain visual? What's your thoughts?
Probably just staying on the ground.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Claude? I meant Logan.
East of Claude, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So,
Can we do like a? I know we're doing it kind of like order based, but I was wondering, like, would I be able to do a perception check to kind of like visualize, like, see if there's any quick way? Like, that's what I was gonna do is do a perception check to see if there's any, like, I don't know, stairs, ladder, somebody raising up pianos. I don't know.
Like boxes.
Like boxes. Like, how can I get this Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I was about to say that all the Assassin's Creed ways of getting onto a roof quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I got a 9.
Okay, that's fine. Basically in the confusion, so with it being less than a 10, you don't really pick out anything in the rush. You're probably more rushed and you're trying to recover from the trip that you had and bumping into the back of Logan. You haven't really got your wits about you just yet. Logan, sorry, the question was for you. What's your thoughts? Are you looking to try to get up high, or are you looking to maintain visual on the ground?
Logan, he's going up high.
Yeah, he's going up high. Yeah, okay, fantastic. You, with your rope, I'm going to give you a chance to try to swing up there, okay, and try to basically rappel up on top of it. You will lose a bit of distance behind the assailant in your climb if you achieve it, but you will be up there with him. So your choice in terms of basically like a pick your own adventure. You'll maintain distance, but you'll be on the ground if you stay on the ground, or you'll have a chance to get up onto the roof, but you will be further behind him.
No, I'm still going up. I'll sacrifice the distance.
Okay, fantastic. Give me
and get some good rolls going.
Yeah, give me a dexterity. Basically, you're basically attaching your rope onto your arrow, right? So make it out as if you're basically attacking like the roof to climb up. Okay, so just do an attack roll with your bow. The D20 and then plus whatever it is for your bow.
10.
Okay, it does just hold in, right? You're not quite sure how stable it is at the moment, but it has connected with the roof and it's giving you a chance to go up. So if you choose, you can be right up on the roof as well. But in the time of you climbing, you will be probably about 30 feet or so behind the assailant. You know that with that roll, if his leg wasn't damaged, he probably would make up a greater distance away from you. So you're getting a bit of a balance with he is injured, but you're climbing up onto the roof.
Okay.
Okay, it's fantastic. So you're up on the roof, and that's your movement at the moment. Claude and Bo are on the ground, and basically as they're bursting through the door, they're already seeing that Logan has made it up onto the roof. And up to them now. What's your rules?
How far is Nile from us as we're keeping chase?
Probably at this stage with the bump and the distance of the roof and him continuing to go, you're probably looking about 70 feet.
Okay.
70. It's like a diagonal. Once again, stop doing that bloody arm movement on camera. I did my accidental salute again. So nope, won't do that. It's at a diagonal elevation from you.
I got a
Yes.
12.
Use fingers. Don't use flat hands. Yeah. Okay. 12. Yeah. Okay. So what are you looking to do? Are you looking to? Do you want to try to go up the rope? Do you want to stay on the ground? What are you thinking?
I mean, I was looking to get up there, but I don't think I should get. I'm gonna try to keep pace on the ground. Actually, I'm gonna try to what I would like to do is kind of close the distance a little bit between he and I, so I could cast Fairy Fire on him.
Okay, fantastic. What distance do you need?
I need to be within 60 feet.
Then 60 feet. Okay, fantastic.
So you said 70, so I'm just gonna try to sprint as much as hard as I can to close the gap slightly.
You're doing the sprint on this turn. Is that correct?
Yeah, you know what? I'll do that.
You want
That's
to dash first rather than move and try to attack. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like kind of like what I would try to be doing. I mean, I know he's slower, but still, I would like to. Yeah.
I think that's the best. I think that's the best way in terms of using your motion to then be in range next time, as opposed to probably being out of range if you try to go for it now. Okay.
Makes sense.
So you're gonna stay. You're gonna stay along the ground, but now you are catching up with him, at least very slightly. If we were talking about movement speeds with the mechanics, you're 35, aren't you?
My movement speed, 30.
Yeah, 30. Yeah. So you're about a 30. He's about 25 with his basically hobbled leg. He still has a lot of power. It's just the leg is not working that much. But as you've seen from this monstrosity, he's not reacting to pain. He's not feeling pain. He's not even acting like his leg is sore. It's just the leg's not working as well as it should do. So it's not a hobble. There's no pain, nothing like that there. He's almost just forcing the leg to work, even though it's been quite badly damaged. Okay, Claude.
Claude rolled a 5.
Claude rolled a 5. Claude, you're still basically, I imagine, probably still distraught from what happened with your dad, and rage is basically, you've almost got the red mist over you, so your coordination is not helping at all at the moment. If anything, you can see where Bo is going, you can see where Logan is going, your choice of where you want to go, but you're not going to make up as much distance as you would like.
Yeah, Claude assumes that they're also chasing the same target, so just stay behind them at least.
Okay, are you going to stay on the ground or are you going to climb?
Stay on the ground.
Stay on the ground. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Logan, you're up on the roof, a little bit further behind the jester. Bo, you are the closest to him at the moment, but on the ground. And Claude is further back from Bo as well. Okay, so the result of this third roll will determine exactly how the interaction is going to go next in terms of who is actually going to be able to get close, do anything, react to the situation, or if the assassin is potentially going to get away at this moment in time, because you can see he's got rooftops to clear. You can see he's very much got a direction of where he's going. There doesn't seem to be any panic, any erratic nature to his movement. He knows where he's going, or at least shows no signs of distress or confusion. Okay. So let's go with Logan. Logan's up on the roof. What do you want to do, Logan?
Do I have a clear line of sight on him that I could attempt to shoot?
Yep.
With an arrow?
You're on the same height as him. You can see him in front of you. The rooftops haven't curved. It's dusk, but you can still see the outline of his shape. And as you can imagine, with the main rooftops, there's not exactly a lot of corners for him to be hiding behind at the moment.
Then yeah, I'd like to just go. I've been talking about it for 2 episodes now. I'm going for the knee.
Go for the knee. That's it.
No. We'll just go for body shot.
That's right. That's right. That's right. What about this? If you roll, let's go, because it's a hard shot from a distance. Let's go 17 and above with your modifier. You hit the knee. Okay. Between 17 and what I know is DC to be, it'll be a body shot. Okay.
Rolled a 16 plus 7, 23.
23, that hits the knee, and you can see he is stumbling. That did take him down significantly. He is getting up pretty much straight away, but not only now has he got a hobbled leg, now there's an awkwardly shaped arrow in it. Yes. And if anything, he takes a small moment to just grab the arrow, snap it at the point where it had entered his body, but it's still in him. He's just snapped the awkward end that was getting in the way of his walk. Okay, so it's still in him. No pain, no shouting. You didn't hear anything. You didn't hear all you just was then snap as he just broke off the 2 ends as it went through the knee. So great hit. It's definitely slowed him again down even more. But no signs of pain, and he's going to try to keep going. Okay. Do you want to move after him as well?
Yes. Continue the chase.
Okay, fantastic. So you find yourself now catching up to him. His movement now, if you're talking about it, is probably closer to a 15 or a 20 instead of a 25. So you've definitely slowed him down. That you feel like you could continue to make some pace. What you do notice, Logan, because you're up high, there is a jump coming up that he's looking to make, and you can see him in the general direction of the dock areas is the direction that he's trying to run to. Okay. So there's a jump coming for him. Okay, Bo, you're on the ground. First of all, roll to basically maintain pace. It's an easier roll because you can see he's getting slower. You can see that he stopped for a brief second. He bent down for some reason. You don't quite know why. Not sure if you heard the arrow fizzing through the air or not, but you certainly didn't hear any pain to indicate that he got hit.
Yeah.
But you just heard maybe heard a and then crack of the arrow being broken, and then him continuing to move, and he's a little bit slower.
He's moving a little bit slower. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find. I have an idea. So I got my fishing tackle. So I got I have the fishing tackle that I gathered up back at Flattery.
I do.
I was gonna try to use the line that I have to create almost like a bolo. I don't know if I can find some a couple rocks or something planks, pieces of wood, something that's a decent heavy thing and tie them together.
Let's go.
Also, I got a 13, by the way.
Excellent. Okay, that's good. So you're continuing your momentum. You know that you will continue to close up a little bit of space. I'm going to let you make a choice here. You can either just keep moving towards him, or which will close the distance, or you'll maintain the same distance away from him, maintain visual contact, but you can do a quick investigation check to see if you can attempt to find anything that will make your bolo. So close the distance, or investigate and see if you can improvise.
Well, I tried to close the distance last round, so I'm going to try to maintain it. So I feel like the distance that I closed from last time will be enough.
Okay.
So I'm going to just maintain it and try to make my bolo.
Bolo. Okay. Very quick investigation check, because you're basically running along the street and just your eyes are twitching left to right to see what you can find.
I got this. Let's do this. Come on. Fuck you. It's a 1.
Okay. So while looking around, you're looking around, but it's just fruit stands. the only thing that's sort of around you is like fruit stands and stalls and people's residencies. So there isn't really anything on the door in the area that you think you can make a bolo out of, based on your rushed searching for stuff as you're going along. You still have the fishing line, so you can still do your attack with the fishing line, for example. You just won't have anything on the end of it to act like the heavy bolo.
Can I tie my dagger to it
Yes, of course you can. Yeah.
instead? So I don't know how that's gonna help anything because I need two different things.
Maybe you're just trying to trip him. You're just trying to give that a bit of a weight to get it, and just the line. Maybe try to trip him up or grab a leg or something.
Throw your new instrument you want.
Oh yeah, what else do I have? I got my flute. No.
At the moment that you think of your flute, you hear a voice in your head going, "Jealous."
Who is that? So I think I'm gonna just be jealous of Logan's abilities. Like, why can't I be up there? I would have gotten down. Oh. So I think I'm gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna my initial thoughts of casting Fairy Fire onto him if I would have closed the distance enough.
Yeah. So you're within distance.
You've
noticed, you've seen your Fairy Fire work. Probably the most memorable time it worked would have been the giant toad that ate Rain, but was beautifully illuminated in the swamp area. Just remembering all the traumatic things that happened to Rain. Eaten by a frog, grabbed the wrong cake, headbands of trauma. My God.
At least you had a really easygoing, loving past before this. Before this campaign happened.
All right, I'm running along. I'm gonna see that I can't find anything that I can make my bolo with to trip them up.
Yeah, based on your rushed investigation. So it's not necessarily that there isn't something, but like it was such a rush to look, you couldn't pick up on anything.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast that on him. He has to make a dexterity saving throw. Has to be at 14.
Okay, no, he only got a 10.
Okay, so he's now shedding. No longer do we see his silhouette, but he's glowing a dim green, so we can see his outline more vividly.
Early dusk, this green is starting to. It appears very prominently, especially against the night sky that you're starting to see, envelop the city as it goes along. Logan in particular is like, oh, okay, like now I can see exactly where I'm shooting. Logan had a good idea of what he was going for. He was trying to pick out a silhouette amongst light darkness. He still nailed the shot. Now he knows that he can see a little bit more as well.
I'm gonna yell up to Logan and be like, "Hey, hot shot, you gonna stop him or what?" Is this so out of character? Is this jealous voice that I keep hearing? Is it like invoking anything in me, or is it just like a whisper?
It's like a whisper in your head.
Okay.
I swear, if Bo gets a headdress as well, I'm gonna lose my mind.
So Logan, hey, hot shot, why don't you stop him? Stop him.
I'm chasing after him. I'm going as fast as I can.
Same team, damn it.
Okay, Claude. Now you've seen Logan from your distance away. You saw the Logan took a shot. You couldn't see if it hit, but at the sort of the angle you're looking at, you can start to see like the shoulder and the head of the assailant, who or at least think is starting to glow green. So with your distance away, the angle is like kind of shoulders. There's like edge of the rooftop and like head and shoulders is what you can see at the moment. Knowing the city a bit better, that building's coming to an end soon. So you, of any of them, really understand the geography of the town, of the buildings. That building doesn't go on for forever. He's going to have to make some sort of a movement soon.
For perspective, so we're running towards the docks?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the building ends and drops to the water, or to like just a lower,
like a lower rooftop.
Okay.
But it's dock building, so it's like kind it's not like solid residential buildings or anything like brickwork. It's more timber framed buildings. That would be more sort of like storage. You know, it's not living conditions. It's just timber framed.
Fuck. Dude, I haven't rolled over a 10 this whole time. 7.
So, Claude, what's going through your head? You know, you're distracted at the moment. You're not performing to the top of your abilities. So what's going through your head at the moment?
I'm trying to think ahead to where, because I see everybody kind of outpacing me. I'm trying to think ahead to where Neil could be going. Knowing that he's going towards the docks, just making sure that he doesn't split off and like disappear somewhere else, but like trying to plan ahead since he can't keep up.
Okay. Fantastic. Right. Okay. Movement. Give me a roll for that 8, was that your movement? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
7.
so you haven't really caught up. You're still making some distance. You kind of stumbling and distracted and trying to look for what you're trying to do and probably caught up in your own head. You're not making up as much distance as you would have liked.
Actually, can I? So you mentioned fruit stands. Can Claude make an athletics or something to like jump a fruit stand and jump up onto the roof? That way he can at least keep vision, even if he's not.
You could be jumping to basically almost like if you're thinking like Assassin's Creed, like onto the top of a stall, and there'll still be a story. So it'd be like a climb.
Yeah, like vault onto vault onto the and then vault onto the rooftop.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah. If you can give me so you'll get up onto the roof, right? If you can give me 2 successful, so 10 or over athletics checks, you'll make a little bit of distance on your time. Otherwise, you'll just stay the same distance away.
Sweet. First one's an 18.
Excellent. So you're pretty swift up. You're up onto the thing, and now you're trying to pull yourself quickly up onto the roof.
16 plus 4, so a dirty 20.
20. Okay, fantastic. So focus in terms of what you're doing. You up onto the thing. You are about half of the distance between Logon and Niall on that thing there. So Logon, as you're taking your shot and you're basically ready to do your next move, you can see Claude climbing up the edge of the rooftop in front of you. Okay. Okay, cool. So Niall's approaching the edge, not there, and you basically see him. He's got a bit of momentum back, and he's just going to try to work his way towards the edge of the building. He's got a good, decent run up. He's got a bit of momentum. His next movement is going to be a jump. His next turn is going to be the jump off it. That roll there is good momentum that he's built up to prepare for his jump. So it's almost like a 2-stage jump. He's got good momentum. He's not phased by the arrow in the knee, although it is very much damaged and holding him back a bit. But for how injured he is, he's got good momentum, ready to make a jump on his next turn. Okay, cool. Logan, what do you want to do? You are now about, because he made up some distance away from you, so he's probably about 50 feet away from you, just in front of you. Claude is about 20 feet in front of you, and Bo is on the ground at a downward angle from yourself.
I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on him. Range on that is 90 feet.
Excellent.
So it lets me do an extra d6 of damage.
Right.
And should make it easier to find. And then if he's approaching that jump, I'm going to go for another shot, see if I can stagger him before he can make the jump.
Great. And Bo, Fairy Fire, how does that benefit someone attacking target again, please? Making it easier to hit.
You're muted.
I can't hear you, sorry.
Any attack roll, they have advantage. If the attacker can see it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Fantastic. Roll your d20 twice and give me the highest number, please, Logan.
23 again.
Yeah. Okay. Great hit. Arrow flings through the air. Are you going for the same knee, a different knee, or a different?
We're going for the other knee.
You're going for the other knee. Okay, right. So
Do I
this
be
one,
rolling for damage on this, or yes?
yeah, you will. Yep, you do. Yep. So you can roll for damage. So it's definitely gonna hit, and it's hitting the other knee because you called your shot.
And then an extra D6, Hunter's Mark. 12 in total.
12 in total.
12
Great hit. Flies straight through the knee. Okay. In that there, this monster, this individual has shown no reaction whatsoever to anything so far. This is the closest to a stumble as he was reaching the edge of the building. He no longer jumps. The momentum carries him off the edge of the building, like almost like a fall, like a momentum fall off the building, and all you hear is crash, as it basically falls through the timber roof of one of the dock storage areas, and you can hear him basically crashing through like pallets and things on the way to the ground. So you knocked him off the roof just as he was about to jump. Great hit. And instead of landing on the roof and being able to continue, he's crashed through the roof and onto the ground at the moment. So, do you want to do movement to close the distance?
Yep. Continue.
Okay, fantastic.
Beautiful
So,
shot, Logan.
The dice are being nice to me today.
Yeah,
There are.
must be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And now if you're Claude and Bo, you've both seen this individual. Bo, you had the angle of you kind of see the gap between the building, and there's a slight smirk on your face. It's like someone else fell when trying to climb onto a roof. I'm not the only one. And he just crashed through the actual roof itself, and you can just hear it falling through pallets and stuff. So you're at that level where there'd be like a doorway. This is the back of the stall because the water is basically to your right hand side, and so you'd have to go around to the front of this storage area. There's no doors or anything at the back of this. There's one like port area, the last docking sort of garage you were in the last time.
Yeah.
There's one of them, but it's at the far end of the building, so it's not like you can kind of sneak in the back. So it's at the far end. So you can either go around the front or run across the whole back of the building to the far end of the building and go in through where the dock part is.
Which one would be so going in through the front is so I kind of need to
that's fine. That's fine. So
reimagine where this is. Would be
imagine
around the back.
So your perspective.
Like cutting, would that be kind of like putting Logon, Nile, and me if I were to go around the back, or
it would almost be like a pincer movement. You'd be going to the far side of him. So
that's what I would like to try to do.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you can just dash. You can dash to make that distance, and you would make it to that, and then just a small jump, just a small
jump. That's all.
Yeah. No. Yeah. For you. So this one is more like a step. Like a kind of like a running step. So it's like check or anything for this. So you're in the warehouse.
Okay.
That the same one that Niall fell into, or that you don't know he's Niall, but that the assassin fell into.
Yeah.
You're at the far corner of it, and you just see a bit of dust, a bit of debris, some splinters in the air, and that's.
Do I see the glow?
So
fire.
You do see the glow, but you can't see the person. So you can see where the glow is coming from.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So because imagine like pallets and things in the way it's a well used storage thing. So there's pallets and things in the way. You can see where the green light is coming from, but you're at the far corner of that building.
Okay.
Okay. Fantastic. Claude, your turn. As you're climbing up, you see another arrow fly past you. You see Niall fall off the roof of the building just as you were climbing up onto the building. And Logan has basically just ran past you. Just started to run past you. So he's about maybe 10 feet kind of running past you as you're climbing up onto the roof. What do you want to do?
Am I close enough in this turn? Well, I guess I should roll first.
No, this one because you're up there. You've a pretty decent idea that the assassin's not moving.
Okay.
So it's just normal movement now. It's not really a chase anymore. So
okay. I want to get to where he fell, and you know how in parkour when they're jumping and they hit a landing, but they keep their momentum going forward. So I want to like hit the edge of the warehouse and then keep the momentum going down into the hole. So like I'm not dropping all the way, like just not just a straight drop, but it's like I'm hitting
Cool.
2 steps.
Parkour.
So yeah,
Yes.
it is acrobatics, but you have heavy armor. Is that correct?
I'm proficient. What do I have equipped? Yes.
So it's
Chainmail.
it's disadvantage if you're trying to do it acrobatically. If you just want to jump down, you won't necessarily make more distance, but you can go for the acrobatic, where you'll close more distance between the two of you. So it's either you're basically making a movement now. It's either a safe jump, just down, where you just jump, or rolling for acrobatics to close more of the distance. Anybody who has decision anxiety in today's session is in a really bad place, because I just like, pick your own adventure. You can do this, you can do that, but you got to make the choice.
I'm full health, so I'll just make this straight jump.
Okay, straight jump. Okay, fine. So you just go straight down. You basically land on. So you wouldn't have landed on the warehouse because there's a massive hole at the top of it, but you do see like a very tall set of pallets that are stacked up in there. So you're basically landing on top of that. Okay, and you do land safely on top of that, and you can look down, and the green glow of the very fire is beaming up towards you. And while you can't see Niall at the moment, covered in a lot of stuff, you know where he is based on this glow. So it's not a case of is he there? You know he's there because of the green glow and the fairy fire. It's delivered more and more value of knowing he's there as opposed to hoping that he's there.
Okay. Did I use all my movement doing that maneuver?
The jump, no, you wouldn't have made it. You can still climb down, but you're just not going to close as much of a distance. Like if you'd have done the acrobatics and succeed, you probably could have been right on top of him. So you'll just be a little bit of a distance away, but you're going to have to climb down, kind of carefully.
I'll just use my movement then. I don't have any other actions.
That's okay. You're going to land about 10, 15 feet away from the stack of debris that you believe contains the assassin in there because of the green fairy glow. Very far. So Logan, you are the last one now in terms of movement. You can do the same jump that Claude was doing. Your acrobatics will not have a disadvantage, so you could do the same jump but only have to roll once and take the higher one. You don't have a disadvantage check if you go for it. Or you can do a safer climb down and be similar position to where Claude is.
I'll go for the acrobatics.
Okay, good man. Roll for acrobatics, please.
20.
Okay, yeah. Claude, as you climb down very carefully down to the pallets, basically all you hear is almost like a very silent, and it's just, and Logan's on the floor. Logan actually reaches the floor before you do as you're climbing down. So Logan made it look really, really easy. Just he's down there. He's in front of you. Logan's now closest to where the stack of debris is, the crushed debris. And Bo, you're on the far side. You heard Claude's really heavy jump onto the top of the pallet, and then the creaky chainmail climbing down.
Yeah.
But you don't hear Logan. It was just that easy. It was just like really, really calm, really easy. So when you come around, you're going to be surprised Logan's there as well, because you heard Claude come and you didn't hear Logan because he nailed that jump. Okay, so basically you're all there. There's no movement as you're watching this debris happening. Okay. Before you investigate the debris, we're going to go back to the cash windfall. We're going to go back to Tommy and Rain, Tommy, Rain, and Tell, who very patiently waited while that chase was happening, which only took about a minute. In all honesty, it was like loads of stuff happening. So it's not actually a long time for them. It's more time for the actual streamers. Okay, Tommy, how successfully have you built up or recovered from your embarrassing start to the boarding process to the what's that word? Sequestering of the Cash Windfall nightclub for everybody.
Yeah, Tommy basically put that one thing in the hole and then just kind of started like rolling some table. He's still not making eye contact with the warden people, but he just occasionally just like checks over to like look at Ricard and Nelson just to make sure no one's gotten closer to them or anything weird is happening. But he's still very much maneuvering things around the room to block things off.
Okay. Rian, you originally had the idea to do the blocking up of the doorways. Did you do it? Did you leave Tommy to do it? Are you watching out for what the wardens are doing or Ricard and them doing? What are you doing?
Take on that because I watched him kind of stumble through trying to command a room. At this point, I think there were 2 rooms kind of in the front of the building, but on the far side from the stage, right?
Yes. So I'll reduce these guys for the moment.
Rian's gonna go to the what are they called?
You were here seated. You're up here. This is where Nelson and Ricard are. Tommy's basically working on fixing up the giant hole in the wall over here with some debris. Is it up here you wanted to go, or is it these rooms here you wanted to go?
Yeah, I want to assist getting Nelson into the room, but also bring the rest of the leaders. What are their
the wardens? Yeah. The
wardens in there.
Perfect. So in here, you basically take a quick peek through here. These are just some very simple restrooms. This is the equivalent of like a club manager office. You can see some sofas here. So if you were taking a quick look in there, you'd think probably the best place to lie Nelson up would be there. And there'd be room to sit 2 people here. Office chair there as well. Are you going to try to direct people into that room? Is that your thought?
Just the wardens.
Wardens, yeah.
I want to just ask them to come into this room. Let's get you guys into a safer, smaller spot. Make sure nobody's else is being targeted. And as you get in there, I asked Tobin to stand guard at the door.
Tobin greatly obliges. You can tell, but he's more focused on looking in your direction than actually watching them. So of the wardens that walked in, so you had you'll find out in a second basically when you talk to them and you interact with them. The 3 wardens that we have here. Cornelius looks at you, doesn't say anything. It's just like there's definitely a bit of a questioning look at you, but follows the instruction. Heard you talking about Tobin. It's like, who's this other dog? Still serene, very, very calm, just going along with it. Not like in a, whoa, I'm high sort of way. Just nothing really fazing him. He just walks in, doesn't say anything. The closest one who's going to give you any sort of attitude or back talk is Mary Elray. You can tell she just does not like being told what to do. She gives you that instant impression of, she doesn't say anything to you, but who the hell are you? Like, you can just sense that attitude from her. She doesn't say anything, but it's like it's a definite look, and basically the 2 women kind of just walking past each other. She walks that way where you're standing directing people, and she's the one that walks the closest to you, like real eye contact as she walks past. But if you'd have been standing perpendicular to her, she probably would have done that sort of jock sort of shoulder bump thing to you, intentional shoulder bump. But you were perpendicular, so she just walked past. You could tell she had that real attitude as she was walking into the room.
I roll perception and see if I get any other sort of vibes off of them. I'm just watching them and kind of seeing if I pick up anything else.
Yeah, give me a sense of what you think you're looking for, as opposed to
I'm just starting to get a general suspicion and looking at everybody now.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah.
separating the wardens from the room is partially to
Absolutely.
make them safer, but also to kind of just get them in a room together and start feeling
I get you. Okay, go for it. Perception.
14.
14, yeah. So most of the information you sort of picked up on is there. Strange. If anything, the main attitude points you're picking up on is what stands out to you. So, Quentin, the humbly dressed individual, he's weirdly calm to you. Like all this stuff happening, he's just not phased in the slightest. Mary Elray is definitely the attitude of the group. Like Cornelius, you can tell he's as much trying to read you as you are trying to read him. That's what you sort of pick up on. That's so. Quentin, as far as concerned, like he could have just heard the voice in his head. Like he doesn't even really acknowledge you. He just, oh, okay, well done. Mary's trying to basically almost do a bit of a power play thing with you, like read you, but a real sense I'm reading you, untold. Cornelius, you can tell anytime you're not looking at him, he's looking at you, and he's just watching everybody in the hands. You can see them; they're at the front. They're together. Very little wasted movement with him whatsoever. He keeps a very straight posture. The walk is very calm. It's calculated, and you can tell he's trying to read as much of the room as well, including yourself.
I'm gonna kind of move away from the doorway and motion over Tommy and Tell.
Tommy makes his way over.
Yeah,
as Tell crosses the room, you can hear the wee bells on his hat going ding 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 ding. He's like a cat. He's like a cat walking into the room with a bell on his neck. Ding 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 ding. He's not really gonna sneak up on anybody. So
yeah, I want to make my way to the room, and then I walk in and I slam the brooch on the table, and I'm just like, "You lost your Warden of Scales today." So I start asking questions.
Yeah.
I just want to know kind of what's going on. Like, straight in
with the bad cop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Tommy goes in, I've noticed that Tell is just going right for it. I'm just gonna tell Tommy, like, hey, watch this wheat guy. The other two just seem like hoity-toity leader dudes, and they're just giving off the usual holier than thou vibes. But this guy, he's a little disconnected. I'm not sure about him.
Also, who else? So, because there wasn't very many people in this party anyway, who else is still, or if I need to do a perception check, who else is still in this area from the chaos of running, us actually making a no one go anywhere kind of thing? Because in my head, we have just these wardens and maybe some of the performers. Is there any staff that would still be here, or?
You pretty much nailed it. So once the explosion and everything happened, most of the patrons that were there made a burst for the door pretty much straight away, and they were kind of running past the miners and the doors and etc. The only individual you'd have left would be the wardens. There would be the jesters that were in the back, because they were at the back, but you don't know where they are. Maybe they went out through the back door, but you don't know where they are. You can't necessarily see them at the moment. And a couple of the bar staff that were at the far end of the room where Bo was, because they would have been too scared to move out from behind the bar with the assassin and the explosion. They basically just bunkered down. So they're behind the bar, which is the top left of the room, top right of the room. Sorry.
Okay, so Tommy takes in what Rand said, and as we're discussing, obviously Tell is in there about starting his line of questioning, and I'll say stay with them, keep an eye on them. I'm just gonna check the rest of the building, and Tommy kind of goes on a perimeter check, and anyone he comes across that is hovering down or hiding, I kind of try to corral them towards the center of the room, of the big room, not the room that has the wardens in it, so the main lobby.
So as you do that check relatively quickly, you're going to find 2 bar staff that were hidden behind the bar in the top right-hand corner. You're going to make your way to the back of the stage. You're not going to see any of the jesters. They all the back door in the top left of the room. It's basically kind of still swinging open. The perimeter check that was done earlier, the lockdown didn't quite work out completely, but you don't know when they left because as soon as everything went crazy, they ran off stage. Anyway.
All right, then I will set open doors, close. If they can be locked, I lock them. If
the best thing you do is take something like with a door handle and can almost do that, bunch it under the door handle so nothing can.
I shove a chair up underneath it, and
yeah,
then
that's exactly it.
And then since I guess it's the only 2 people I have found are the bartender people, I just tell them to have a seat, or I kind of have a seat, and then I just generalize like, did you see anything weird? What do you remember? And just to see if I can get any information.
And the 2 of them seem really excited to give you some information they have that they think is super duper important. Like, yeah, there was this one guy behind the bar. I'd never seen him before. He hadn't worked there before. I really think he was in on it. He had like a really cool harp or something with him. I'm not quite sure, but like I've never seen him before, and it just happens to be the one day he's here working here. All this happens. He's definitely in on. He's definitely in on it, without a doubt.
You also got a fantastic mustache.
Tommy plays into it. He's like, did he give a name? Did he introduce himself to you guys?
Oh no. I know that when the miners came in, so this is how I know he was linked to it. I know when the miners came in, they looked in his direction, and one of them thought it was a great idea. I could just tell he was in on it. It was definitely like he tried to make it look like it was an inside job. He was in on it. He was in on the miner explosion. Maybe he had something to do with the assassin as well. I don't know. What do you think? Only one of them's doing the talking, the other one doesn't. Anytime he turns around to ask him questions, the guy just starts talking again. Doesn't get a word in edgeways. So it's like, yeah, he was average height. The other guy goes, he had a pretty cool mustache. But couldn't serve drinks to save his life. He seemed kind of lazy to me. But yeah, until I'd never seen him before, never worked with him before. He was definitely in on it.
All right.
Like yeah.
I appreciate the information. Now, we're gonna probably be held down here just for a little while, just for everyone's safety. So why don't we whip together some food and drinks? And Tommy kind of goes with redirects them to get stuff to eventually take into the wardens especially. He wants to get some food and drink specifically for Nelson and Ricard.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, fantastic. At that point, so Ricard, the only ones who are out at the moment now, Tommy, is Nelson and Ricard. So Nelson's still on the ground. Ricard's there. Ricard basically calls up and goes, "Will you help carry my father?"
Yeah.
Does Rain really think this is a good idea? It's got to be, they were probably in on it,
I mean, at this point, we don't know who necessarily is in on it, but we also can't downplay that possibly everyone's a target, including yourself, maybe even close family. So I think her idea of keeping everyone of the wardens and people that are here is probably our best plan at the moment.
Will you take his feet and I'll take him. I'll hold him by the shoulders. It's okay, Father. We're gonna get through this. And you can see him checking the arm. It's just blood. It's just a little bit of blood now where the jagged metal / impromptu dagger from the jester's armor was in there. You don't see any other signs of the poison or anything in and around that. It just seems to be just bruising and a bit of blood from the actual physical wound itself.
All right, so
you're going to carry him into the back room, and
now there's only from that picture there was only
there's 2 sofas. Yep.
I kind of look over at Brienne and make eye contact of should we go into that same room with him?
Yeah, let's keep everybody together of the important people.
All right, then I
Well,
lift up
I'll
and we take him towards that
get under
couch that
the
was in
other
there.
arm.
All right, you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. As you walk in, so people are sitting on both of the sofas. Okay. Cornelius is on one sofa on his own, and so Cornelius here is on one sofa. Very, very tall posture, just sitting there, just watching around the place. Mary Elray, she's there. She's definitely she's like angry, twitchy. You know, just everything is basically pissing her off at the moment. Like when she's looking at it, and Quentin is on the other side, so it's almost like a three person sofa, and these two are just sitting at the far end. There's a very clear gap in the middle between those two, and Quentin's just watching around. Just
And there's only one sofa in here.
there's two sofas, but Cornelius is on one sofa, and Mary and Quentin are on the other sofa.
Okay, I
So
definitely
if
go.
you're going to use a sofa, you got to ask one of them to get up.
Yeah. Cornelius, whoever's on the single sofa by themselves. Is
Yeah, so
Cornelius,
it's Cornelius.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I come over and again, I'm going to use my impressive intimidation and be like, "Hey, up. He needs this."
Okay.
Hey, could you possibly maybe I know you're
So,
comfortable.
I'm gonna let you roll with advantage because of Tell's attitude when he stormed in. So it's almost like a double whammy
Thank you.
intimidation. So
All right, 17.
okay, yeah. So so you walk over and you're like, you know, your way to get him off the sofa is basically demand that he gets off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he looks up at you, and he looks at Nelson, and he goes. He just gives a nod, and he stands up. He doesn't seem to have taken offense. He doesn't seem to have been scared or anything, but a very clear understanding of the situation. And he walks over towards Tell, and you can see that he very gently puts like his fingertips just on that warden badge that's on the table, and you just see him just bow his head very slightly and take it away. It's probably the closest thing you've seen to emotion from him at the moment, but it's still very, very little is given away. But his hands actually extended. He briefly touched the medallion for the warden, and then put it back into just against his body.
Brian's
So-
gonna move to block the doorway, kind of picking up on where Tell's going with this, and just in a posture of like.
Do you close the door behind you? And if you do, which side of the door is Tobin on?
I'm leaving the door open so I can hear the
Okay.
the bartenders.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
It-
Tobin has briefly forgotten his guard duty. He's just looking at you. Do you want to give him another instruction to actually look away, or do you want him focused on the room?
I'll just lean down and give him a pet, and then go back to arms crossed. And
Cool. So he's sitting down right beside you, looking into the room as well.
Tommy goes to the outside of the doorway and leans against the door frame, so I can do that thing where if I look to my left, I'm looking into the room. If I look to my right, I see the rest of what the two bartender people. I'm making sure they're actually making drinks and not making a run for it or anything.
So they're starting to prepare a few drinks, just getting some trays ready, trying to fix up what bottles weren't broken in the chaos. And the two of them talking again. You can still see it's the one who was doing the talking before. He's like furiously talking the ear off the other one. Like he is, you can almost tell he's like in conspiracy theory. Like he's worked it out. See this guy
Solve the
behind the
case.
bar? He is in on it. Like if we can get him, and you can see every so often he gets like a bit of a napkin or some parchment, and you can see he's starting to draw like what he thinks this guy that came in to work with him. He's drawn him like, because this is going to be really helpful. This is how we're going to find this guy. And the other guy's just going along with it. He's just, you can tell it's one of those double acts where one does all the talking, one does none of the talking, and just goes along with it. But the first guy is furiously drawing, and you can see every so often, like, you're like, no, the mustache was bigger. And he crumples the paper and starts drawing another one, and asking the guy. He's doing that thing where he out loud asks questions but doesn't actually wait for the answer. Like, what was the thing with the just drawn away? So he's working away on his own on its own thing. And the last thing before you look back into the room is you see he gets a marker and he starts writing at the very top of the piece of paper WANTED and drawing with the face. So he's basically doing his own makeshift wanted poster. He knows who's in on this. He's going to get him. And going from there. Okay. So you guys are in the room. You've got the 3 wardens, and you've got Rickard, and you've got Nelson basically lying on the couch. We're going to pick up where you had. You basically stormed and goes, you lost the warden of the scales, and Cornelius came over and you saw him briefly touch at it. How do you want to react to that, or do you want to look at the rest of the room?
So I want to look at the rest of the room, but first, before I ask a question, do we I think I missed a couple episodes where we had talked about the gold pieces. Do we know who minted those? And do we know they're fake? I think I remember something about them being fake.
Oh, yes. So you know they're fake because they were shown to Nelson Martel when you guys arrived at the house. You know it's particularly damaging, obviously, because he's supposed to be warden of trade. So, you know, he's supposed to be on top of these things, or at least you got that impression that he was disturbed by this. And does anybody, that's what I'm going to say. Does anybody else have any notes or recollections of what you want to say to tell?
We just found the machinery and flattery, I believe.
Yeah. So at the moment, you don't know where they came from, but you do know that they're fake, and you know that Nelson and Rickard were there when you showed these coins. Claude, in particular, had shown these coins. It was the same conversation that Tommy noted that Claude said we spoke to a god, and Nelson didn't really pay any attention to that. Yeah.
Didn't we find, like, didn't Rian find, like, something, like, a couple notes in the back offices linking it to the Seven Sons?
Yes. You did indeed. Yeah, good recollection of that one. So, yeah. So, especially in relation to who would be benefiting from this, because it's detrimental to the Martel mercantile circuit. Because basically, if they're getting paid with fake money, they're not making money.
Okay. So I have written down, this is out of character, this is just me talking to y'all, that on the piece was Timera, is that right? The god of luck was on the piece. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to go out and talk to Tommy and ask him for his pistol, but I want him to unload it.
All right, Tommy.
I look at Tommy and I'm like, we're gonna get some answers today. Give me your pistol. I need it unloaded.
Yeah, Tommy.
Cloth right here.
Tommy, it's not actually loaded. So because Tommy fired a shot during the fight and didn't actually reload it yet. So he's been really just just using it as a prop because it's not loaded at the moment. So he just like kind of does that like finger flip thing, catches the front part, and hands you the butt of the gun, and be like, all right, get your answers.
Okay. So I take his pistol, I walk back in. I'm looking at all 3, and I start giving a speech about luck. And I said, one of you 3 better pray to your god of luck that this pistol is not loaded. And then I pull it out and I point it at all 3 directions. And then can I do like a perception check on who's the most nervous, or like insight check?
Yeah, you can indeed.
Roll with advantage because Tommy shitted himself.
Is it investigation or insight? Which one should I do?
Insight because you're trying to read people.
23.
Man's going Boondock Saints on these guys.
23.
23. Okay, fantastic. So in the brief second of hearing this and then quickly reading their reactions, Cornelius is a very brief look of shock. Like you can almost see like the eyebrows raised, but then somehow maintains his composure again. Okay. Mary Ellery in the middle, she got that look where she's almost impressed. Like she's like, this kid's balls. Yeah, I like that. She's got that sort of look where she's almost like kind of slightly proud of you. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin just looks at you. Just
I'm gonna
You
point the
keep-
gun at Quentin.
yeah, and Quentin just keeps looking at you.
I said, Quentin, you feel lucky today?
My child, what really is luck? It's just when you work as hard as we do, you take every day for the gift that it is, and this just happens to be today's story.
Let me look at Cornelius. I switched my pistol to Cornelius.
Yeah.
And I aim at him. I said, what about you, Cornelius? How you feel lucky?
Well, I have faith. Son. It's what's brought me to this day. It's who I am. If we don't have faith in these trying times, then it's easy to be. It's easy to have faith when times are easy, but
You keep
we
saying
experience
faith.
these challenges together.
You keep saying faith when I bring up luck. You know of any gods of luck?
That's a personal favorite of mine. That's the story of Chimera, how she was able to save her people through an incredible combination of what people misunderstand about that story. At this point as well, you can see Mary Ellery's rolling her eyes. Oh my God, another long-winded Cornelius story. That's her sort of reaction to it. It's like, yes, but so that's what people forget about this story. It's they think it's luck, but luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So in a way, we all make our own luck. Wouldn't you say?
Okay. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS, Cornelius. And then I pull the trigger. Nothing happens.
Did
And then
like he did spring out of that cool camp thing. Like he did get shocked at hearing the click and it not going. Mary for a brief second is almost disappointed. It's like, I thought you actually had a bullet. Oh well. Not gonna pull that trick on me again, kid.
We'll let the scales judge him.
Well, the scales they're pretty broken out there, don't you think? Oh, Delilah. What a big dummy.
So I call Rian and Tommy into the room as I pull out one of the coins that I pulled from the pot. A
bullet next time, kid. You just hear Mary say it, and she's laughing away. She's the only one finding it funny. Cornelius is still pretty shocked at what happened. Quentin's still looking around.
Okay, so I'm calling these two in, and then I pull the coin out and I show him. No one said anything about the god Chimera, and he knew exactly who she was, and he's seeking opportunities. He said. So I think he's our man that's creating the golden that planned this.
I'm still confused about this guy, and I'm just pointing at the wheat guy. Like, he's got no reaction at all. What kind of inhuman response is this?
The read I got is he's really chill and he's fine with dying, which is not great. Well, we know who's minting our gold, at least. If we don't know who planned the attack, we at least know who's making our gold.
Tommy,
I want to ask Cornelius. It seemed like you were a little sentimental about the medal from Delilah.
Yeah.
Was there a deeper sort of relationship there?
I knew a long time. I'm actually the one that got her position. Oh, she's here because of me. But yeah, it's just sad just when anything like this happens on a day. She was the backbone, like almost the figurative backbone of Daggerford. She was able to persuade in a way that I never could. I will miss her.
Were you jealous of how she could persuade? Have you wanted more power?
I'm the longest standing member on the sheath, on this Council of Wardens, the sheath of Daggerford. And I was going to make a play for power, as they say. I would have done it long ago. Why would I wait till now?
I look back to Tell and like, what were you picking up? What kind of connection are you making here?
So on the gold coin, there's the god Chimera of luck, and I pointed. I didn't suspect. I can't remember her name. The girl in the middle.
Mary Elry. Yep.
I didn't suspect her, so I pointed the gun at him first to see what he said about the god of luck. The I'm so bad with names.
That's okay. Chimera. Yep.
The guy on the right, I pointed the gun at him to see what he would say. If he knew who Chimera was, he didn't. So I pointed the gun at Cornelius, and he knows the god of Chimera. That's who's on that coin. So that's who I think is printing the gold, the fake gold. I don't know
Do you think there's any connection to this assassination attempt too, or is this just a separate event?
Maybe he's working with somebody else, but he's my lead suspect anyway.
Just for the gold.
For the gold, for sure.
Tommy, so you two are talking, and the wardens are like we're in the same room as the wardens, right? We didn't leave the room.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys are talking, and the wardens are in front of you. Tommy's behind. Tommy is not speaking because he and correct anyone can correct me if I was wrong. I was not told of this gold. I was not told of this printing press or this printing of gold. Nothing of this symbol coin.
Yeah.
Tommy's aware of. Well, he's aware of. He knows the symbol from. He took one of them off the goblin, so he had one, and he knows what it looks like. But this whole printing, everything. So Tommy is upset that he was lied to. Like, or not like upset, like angry upset, confused why he wasn't told, and all this confusion of everything else that's going on. He's lost a little bit of trust for both of you. So he's and now he slightly questions the group he's been with after all this shit's going on. So he's just standing there and taking it all in and not speaking because he's slightly upset that he was not included in something. But you guys can't tell it on his face, so he's just staying quiet and listening to you guys continue to plot this whole thing out. But he's very much like slight wall up of like, what the fuck? Like, I thought we were a group. I thought we were a group figuring things out, and I wasn't told shit. So he's just standing there, just like he's still watching the waiting staff. He's listening to what you guys are saying, but he's not actively participating.
Hey, does anybody think that sack of platinum feels a little light?
You're busy trying to parkour. Shut up.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
I am gonna like lower my voice a little bit and just ask Tell, like, is there anything from your past that makes you think that there would be any reason for him to be involved with an assassination too?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, I mean, like out of character, like not. I don't think I'm a part of it.
I just mean like from your experiences. All I know is that you've been wanted, and maybe you've seen some crazy stuff in your life.
Yeah, no connect. Like, nothing from my past is influencing my decision. I'm purely going off of what we found, the coin.
Great answer, Tell. That's exactly it. If you're ever afraid of like saying something or not saying something, don't be afraid to, if you want to go for it, because they can always be included later. So don't be afraid to necessarily say anything wrong. Plus, if there's anything in particular, I can always jump in and go, DM, do I? And then I'll give you a little bit if you can. So don't worry about remembering everything. Your main stuff is knowing that you're wanted because you escaped captivity and were about to be transported when your escape. Yeah, and you had a feeling of that you were about to be transported somewhere not particularly nice, but it wasn't. From your perspective, it didn't seem like it was going to be a prison.
Yeah, and then I don't know any of these people, right? Like I don't have any ties to anyone there. Okay. Yeah. So I'm purely going off of what I know about the coins in the mint.
Fine. Okay.
I think, we've made this connection, but I mean, this isn't our town. We were kind of just here for Claude and his father and stuff. So, I leave it to you, wardens, to do with this guy what you see fit.
Yeah.
I don't think that we should be the judge and jury for them.
Sure. I'll let them judge.
Said no D&D party ever. Okay, sorry, Tom.
Yeah, as far as the fake gold goes, he still makes me think he's a suspect of the assassination attempt as well because he's already done something bad. But also maybe this guy on the right is possible too. I don't know, and I can only make accusations on the coins because that's all the information I would have right now. So I'm just talking to them too, and then I have the coin in my hand, and then I turn to Cornelius and I show him the coin and ask him if this looks familiar, and show him the Tamira side of the coin.
And he holds it and he goes, "This is a beautiful piece. Is this the new design that Nelson was about to approve for the coins?" Is
Nelson?
Nelson's in the room, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's unconscious on the ground.
Oh,
on the couch.
I only ask because he's got, he was master of trade. He's got the ability to do that if he wanted to.
What do you know of a new design for a coin?
Sometimes new masters of trade like to almost put their stamp on a new era of that. But Nelson didn't seem like he was going to do that. He never really brought up that idea of a design. But it's the first time I've seen this. So I'm just wondering if he finally, because I suggested that he might want to, as a way, because they're an old family friend. I watched Claude grow up. I helped train him. He was in the Temple of the Helm training for the Paladins. So I suggested Nelson he might want to come up with a new coin design himself if he wanted, kind of celebrate his new position in it. But he didn't seem like he was particularly interested in doing that, or didn't seem like he wanted to. So I was just wondering maybe it changed his mind in the meantime. But
can I
do
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. Go ahead.
Can I do a perception check to see if anybody else notices a coin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like any kind of recognition.
Was that Cornelius talking?
That was Cornelius. Yeah.
Guess the number.
12.
Beautiful 12.
12. Tell 12.
12 seconds later. It's yeah. So the only one who's really looking at it, you can get the feeling it's probably Marielle, right? She's a real ooh, shiny look to it. But it looks like it's new to her as well.
Okay.
Like she hasn't seen this before, at least based on what you rolled and what you're perceiving at the moment. Quentin is just not in the room. He's just mentally not in the room. No. If anything, he's kind of like padding on the sofa. You get the feeling that he's it's actually kind of nice.
Damn, I thought I was on to something, but I don't know.
Richard, do you know anything about anything further that you still haven't told us? Like, you verified that this coin was fake, but
yeah, as Cornelius said, you know, it can be a tradition for new wardens of trade to have a new coin, but Father never seemed interested in it. I don't think, to be honest, I don't even think he'd know how to spell Chimera. If he, if you asked him, you know, never mind what it looks like, or she, or they, or he. I don't know what a Chimera is. I'm not as learned as Cornelius. So
Brian just shrugs her shoulders and turns back towards the doorway to stand again, because all of these foreign politics are just too confusing, and she doesn't want to get involved.
Not my problem. Okay, cool. While that investigation is sort of going on, just in the meantime, we're going to jump back briefly to Claude, Bo, and Logan as you're approaching the debris and the glow, the green glow of in the thing.
Real quick, whenever I see Claude coming down, clambering down, one, Claude, do you have inspiration?
I do not.
Okay, as he's coming down, I'm gonna say, I don't know, Claude, I don't know who this tank of a person is, but I think you might want to take a lead on this, and I'm gonna give him my last bardic inspiration for whatever is gonna happen right now.
All right, we're not in any sort of initiative order or anything right now.
No, but the last thing, just before that happens, Bo, you give bardic inspiration by using your instruments, don't you? That's how you actually do that. Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
So it basically gets channeled through your. Is that your way of channeling that? Okay.
I think
cool.
It's a ditty.
Yeah, so right as you're doing that, and as you're basically beginning to strum on your new machine, you hear the word in your head, just chalice. One more time in your head. I'd like you to roll a D8 twice, please.
D8 twice. One's a 7 and a 4.
In that moment, as you begin to play and Claude begins to feel the bardic inspiration entering his body, that same voice in your head for a moment just goes, "Feel the rhythm." Blind.
I'm blind?
Blind.
Bo's blind.
Are you freaking out?
Are you freaking out, man?
He's gonna Bo's just gonna he's just gonna blankly stare he can't see what.
So it was dusk and you entered into like a dark warehouse and you were looking towards Claude and you were given the bardic inspiration and you closed your eyes because you're really starting to feel the rhythm of giving the bardic inspiration. But when you open your eyes, you still see nothing.
Oh my god, guys! What just happened? Where I can't see. I can't see.
It's a little dark in here. Yeah.
No, literally, I can't see anything. What is this guy? Is he Ever since he came in, I'm starting to hear voices. Are you guys hearing voices?
Maybe he's casting spells and
I can't see. I'm gonna start I don't know. I'm just gonna start reaching around for things, reaching out for I don't know, a surface.
So you're feeling that, and you're basically touching
he's gonna
stacks of pallets and things that kind of around the. You're basically almost kind of doing that, just feeling pallets around you.
Claude guides Boduk to a seat.
Well, we were on the opposite side of rooms.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
well, I assumed you'd walked over, but yeah.
Oh no, I mean that was pretty much as soon as I saw him coming in, from across the room. I was trying to
Okay. So you're at the far end of the room. You
Yeah.
know that there's stacks of pallets with you. What you also briefly remember as well is you're really close to the edge of the water.
Oh, okay.
Last
that
thing you
sounds
sort
like
of
my
remember
luck.
as well. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Oh, don't move. Stay there. Stay there. You're
I
near
don't-
the edge.
I don't think you understand. I can't see anything. I don't know where we are. Like, what is going on?
Don't move. Because Claude wants to help, but he also doesn't want to leave the assassin sitting there because he doesn't know what's going to happen if he's incapacitated or anything. So
Okay,
you're safe
okay.
right there. Don't move.
All right. I'm just gonna sit down, and I'm gonna try to sit down. I mean, I'm gonna sit down.
Okay. To attempt to sit.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I'm blind. I don't know.
Roll to sit.
I've never been
Sit.
blind before.
Okay. So as you go to sit down, Claude and Logan are right there. Logan is the one closest to the debris at the moment. Between Logan and Claude, what do you want to do next?
So there's just like a pile of debris, and is it like the glow coming from underneath it? Like,
Yeah, from underneath it. Yeah, so like broken pallets, broken shards of wood, kind of like sawdust and things kick up into your face. You can see, just other sort of like packages, and maybe not packages, but like goods, basically, that were obviously on the pallets for transportation, getting knocked away and things. Yeah. So you can see this green glow underneath it.
all right. So
Bo, in your blindness, looking back into your mind's eye,
Yeah.
how long does Very Fire last for?
I would say as he fell, it's supposed to last for a minute. So like whenever he fell in and like us coming in, I would feel like the glow would be like fading.
It's dimming, so basically you can see where it is, but that dimming is
Yeah.
starting to dissipate.
He's also hunter's marked by Logan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's for Sorry, good.
yeah.
and that lasts for an hour.
Lasts for an hour. Yeah.
All right, Claude
So,
turns to Logan.
Hunter's Mark is more of an effect as opposed to a visual.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Logan could he can sense him, right? If he tries to
Yeah.
search for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it gives him advantage on stuff.
If you can see it, if you can see him.
No, it says like for like tracking and stuff. I think it's like a
Oh, it is it for
advantage
tracking.
on
Oh, good.
perception and survival checks to find him.
Good.
Yep, that is correct.
So- Claude's gonna pull out his shield. He's back. Logan, can you cover me? And
Yeah, I got you.
all right. So Claude doesn't draw his sword, but he does draw his shield as he tries to pull the debris away and look for a body.
As you
And I'm just
basically
gonna
pull
have my bow drawn and just aimed at the pile, seeing for any sudden movements.
Okay.
Bo's actually gonna stand up and like just like kind of like ready himself just in case. Like he knows he calmed himself down a little bit and he's gonna stand up and just like prep.
Okay. As you stand up, your sight returns. It's
All right,
very
good.
temporary. It's basically it's basically one turn.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Like,
I don't.
did the sun get in my eyes? Did whatever? But that was a pretty quick. Like, you went completely blind for a very short period of time, and now it's back.
All right.
Claude and Logan, you're at the pile. You're searching through. You come to this unconscious figure that has obviously it had ripped off parts of the jester outfit and things out there, and this sort of gear that it's got on now. The mask is completely away, and this is the individual that you see underneath the pile of the rubble, unconscious.
What did they do to you? Claude's gonna. So he's unconscious already. Claude's gonna
Yeah.
pull out his hempen rope because you never know what you're gonna need a rope for. And he's gonna bind. He's gonna bind his hand.
Sounds okay. Perfect.
Glad you still
that's
have a
fine.
rope. I left mine back there.
I'm looking at my inventory. I would have just gonna assume I have it on.
You
me.
can get it on the way. You can get it on the way back to the club. That's fine. Okay, so Claude's rope is now being used to bound the assassin's hands. But are you given any impression at the moment of recognition of this assassin, like from the front? Because Logan wasn't with you when you were face to face. Rain was the closest one, so Rain's the only one who sort of noticed you having an element of recognition for this individual. So Logan doesn't know this, and Bo is more trying to still figure out what the hell happened there. Did I like rub my eyes too hard, or I don't know? That was really, really weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Cloud will straight up just tell them, like, he's just talking out loud, not necessarily like addressing anybody. But he's like, I know this man. Don't kill him. I don't know, something's wrong, obviously, but this is not who we think it is, or the man I knew wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, I'll say
something's wrong. Yeah.
what you can also notice, Claude, is amongst all the other sort of alterations on the face, like almost get the feeling like these parts could lift off, as if like someone could do like a Mr. Potato Head, like creating a face. Like you like it's really the eyes and things like the nose and the mouth that give away who it is to you, but not all of these features align with exactly who you thought it was. And unfortunately as well, what you do notice as well is that Niall was Elven, and probably one of the things that disgusts you the most is that this ear has definitely been they're trying to make it look more human.
Is it actual flesh, or is it something like grafted onto his face?
Yeah, it's flesh. It's flesh. It's not as simple as a Mr. Potato where it's like a pin and you stick it in or whatever, but you get the feeling that, like it could lift up and it could be switched and things out there, other than the sort of main features like eyes, nose, mouth, etc. Facial hair is a little bit different, but it doesn't quite lap over all the same parts of the face, etc. So yeah.
It's dark, so Claude's gonna kind of like prod at it, like if he's unsure if it's like a mask or something.
Yeah.
Like attached to his face.
And it seems pretty secure, but it does seem to weirdly kind of shift. Maybe, say if you were pressing on somebody's cheek, there's a way you expect it to sort of move, and this one kind of maybe moves a little bit slightly, maybe a bit more awkwardly.
Does it come off and like try to pull it?
It wouldn't do it lightly, but you get the feeling that because it can lift it all, that if you really went for it, you probably could.
I'll try it. See if it like starts bleeding. If it starts bleeding or like really looks like something major is gonna happen, like bad, I'll stop.
Yeah. Okay. You can pull at it, so you're not trying to rush anything because you're not in combat or anything out there. You pull at it. It does lift at certain points. It's not bleeding.
Okay.
Not bleeding.
Can I remove it? Like,
yep.
Just altogether.
So like this chunk just here, you can just lift it up.
What the fuck is happening?
And then you can see like a different chunk here because it's kind of over the eyes. Along the sort of scalp hasn't really changed because it's very thin skin. It's more these sort of kind of fleshy parts. These parts that would be used for identifying features of a person. You can't really remove the nose, lips, stay the same, the eyes are as they are, but these other pieces are almost kind of molded around.
I'll just see what else.
Basically all of these different sort of little squares along the cheek, that lifts up, that lifts up, that lifts up, that lifts up. It's all sort of there. There's a very, very thin layer of very gray skin underneath it, like withered gray skin underneath this, which is closer to Niall's natural skin tone, but a very gray version of that. Every time you remove one of these pieces, like there's no blood, there doesn't seem to be any bruising. There doesn't, there isn't even really a softness. Like it's not like if there's a, squidgy removing of flesh that has fluid in it. It's more.
Logan, have you ever seen anything like this? It's not
Nothing
his
like
skin. Somebody's attached something.
Yeah. Logon, as well as Happy, are very confused right now.
Okay.
Let's see. If I have anything.
Yeah.
I think we need to get him out of here. He's bound. Let's take him back to my keep. Figure somebody there will know what to do. Somebody that knows medicine or art, magic. I don't know if he's possessed, if he's undead. I don't know if you can identify anything, but
I'll help you drag him back.
I can see again, guys. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know if that's this guy, but I'll help too. I
Bo,
don't
are
know
you
what's going
okay?
on.
Do you
I
need
don't
healing?
know, man. I mean, I don't feel weird. I don't feel bad. I'm not hurt.
Okay. Well, he's unconscious now, so hopefully nothing funny's going on. And Claude will do his best to shoulder Niall.
Can I do an Arcana check on him, on Niles, to see if there's like any like form of like necromancy or like?
Yeah.
Does that mean-
Just to confirm, it's Niall, not
Niles.
Niles.
Sorry, I keep saying Niles. I keep
No,
thinking.
I know it's like Fraser. It's like don't want that
Yeah,
character.
that's
It's not
exactly
that
what I'm
character.
thinking.
Yeah. That's okay.
All right.
Just because I would keep going. Arcana check. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
9. I feel like my heart's always in the right place, but Bo just doesn't know.
Such good ideas, but such terrible execution.
It really is. I was like,
yeah. Okay. So you don't particularly pick up on anything at the moment.
Yeah.
I think your senses are probably still a little bit disorientated from the very sudden lack of vision
Yeah.
that you had because you don't know how that happened. So you're not really probably not really
Yeah,
sure of
and
yourself in any sort of way at the moment. So not that
right.
focused. Maybe a lack of a distraction, not really allowing you to focus on channeling this Arcana check.
Very true. All right. Let's,
Okay.
yeah. Let's get back to the others.
Cool.
As we start walking back, I'm going to tell them because they were both with me on that first expedition out here. I'll be like, I don't think it's a coincidence that he was headed towards the docks. Something's going on out here, but I think we need to regroup before we can.
Was this the same doc?
Is it the
asked
same one?
group.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, this is where we were this morning. Yeah. Dude, it's too much of a coincidence to
That-
There's
I don't
something weird
believe
going on out
yeah.
here.
be. Yeah.
All right. How are we gonna get him back? He's a big guy.
Well, I'm pretty beefy.
He is 6'2", but you gotta get the feeling that a lot of, as we said in the last session, the big armor and things that he was wearing seemed more padded, more costume-esque for the jester, as opposed to hulking mass. So this is why this guy's a little bit more, sort of more medium build, leather armor. So tall, lean, and you could pick him up, especially the two of you together.
Now that I mention it, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick, Claude. Do you mind? Mind if we pat him down? See if he
I was
got
going to say this.
anything-
I was going to say we should disarm him real quick and.
See if he has anything on him too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to find 2 daggers, and you're basically going to find a kind of like a half sword. You can see it on the picture there at the back. So when I say half sword, I'm thinking more like the almost machete style weapon. Claude, this is his weapon. Like you recognize it. It's got the same. It's not as well kept as that Niall would have normally kept this. Like it's like there's bits of blood on it that aren't even cleaned off. It's very much functional now. It's really not taking the same amount of pride and delicate maintenance of it that you would have associated with Niall and this weapon. But it is his weapon. So you get 2 daggers and his half sword and nothing else. There are no coins. There's no food, no rations, no sleeping gear. Just the only thing he has on him are these tools of the trade.
Mind if I take one of those daggers?
Would you mind holding on to all of his weapons for now? I recognize the sword, but I don't know. But the dagger, I guess.
All right.
Do
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll hold on to him.
The sword is his. I know this is his, but this isn't the way he would behave.
All right, I will treat it with respect.
Logan, as you're walking past, you know that of the things you're going to collect back along the way is your rope, so you can put that back into your inventory, which is fine. Claude, you're basically kind of impromptu, almost kind of leading this at the moment. These guys are sort of listening to you at the moment because your connections and your knowledge of the town. Are you going to go back to the Martel home, or are you going to go back to the Cash Windfall? What's your thoughts?
I don't think it's safe to take him back to the Cash Windfall, but I don't want to.
So you don't know what they're doing at the moment, so that's fine. But your thought as Claude is to go that way.
Yeah, but I do want to get word back to the group. At least.
Cool.
Somebody go gather the rest of the party and see.
You want to send? Do you want Bo or Logan or both? Do you guys want to go back to the Cash Windfall? Claude, I imagine you're going to stick with Niall, even back at the house.
Logan, you want to do rock, paper, scissors to go back to Cash Windfall?
No, I'll go back. I'll go get it.
Okay. You want to play rock, paper, scissors just for the fun of it?
Sure.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I played scissors.
I also played scissors.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I threw rock.
Paper.
All right. I lose.
You lose, but Logan's still going to go. Right? Yeah.
Take 20 points of paper damage for losing.
That's 2 out of 3.
I feel like I should have lost like 100 points of psychic damage this game. Pride damage.
And I just can't stop winning over here.
All I do is win.
Logan just starts dancing. Just
Logan's in a great mood. Claude is devastated. Claude is devastated. Logan's like, the thing you're coming up, Logan, today. You know,
Logan's day.
A great day. Yeah.
Right,
okay.
I'm gonna go with Claude. Where we headed?
We headed back to the keep.
Well, you all went back. You all went back to the keep. To your family home, and then Logan is going from the family home to the Cash Windfall. So Logan, you basically are approaching the Cash Windfall from the front. As you can see, there's a large crowd outside it, obviously because all the commotion that has happened. You can see there are a couple of different doors. There's still the front door and the back door that you know of, that you came in through earlier on. And there's a giant hole in the front of the building that has a bunch of tables and chairs and debris all stacked up in front of it.
Can I climb back up and go back in the door we came out of? Is that still open?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, so you walk around the back.
Try.
The fact that you went to the far one where you went out, you can get in. If you'd have tried to go in the same one that you'd gone in at the start of the night, you would have found the chair underneath the door handle. As you walk in through the back door, the two guys at the bar briefly stop and they look at you and they hold up their makeshift poster and goes, no, it's not him. It's not him. It's not him. It's okay. A good result with the rock, paper, scissors. I was kind of looking forward to Bo and then those two guys like tackling them. We got him!
I didn't even think about that. Well, yeah. I wouldn't have realized it, but
yeah. That would have been funny. So Logan walks in. They both look at their makeshift wanted poster. Goes, no, it's not him. And as you can see at the door, so at the far end of the room, you can see Tommy leaning up against the outside of the door. You can see Tell and Ryan in the doorway. You can't see anything else through the room, because you can just see them all basically in the doorway. So if you want, you can walk over or let them know, or what do you want to say to the gang?
Yeah, I will let them know that we captured the assassin. We have him currently bound, and Claude is taking him back to the keep. I don't know if you guys, what's going on with you guys here, but we all might want to...
started an interrogation and we're confused.
Yes.
Well, we don't really know what's going on with our guy either.
I'm super pissed off. I don't know the answer. I just want the answer to this mystery. Like, I'm just fuck it, you know.
I don't know if we all want to try to regroup, get back together, or you guys have more business here.
Well, we can't.
We should
I
I
want to
guess
talk to them.
try to move
still.
the wardens.
Yeah.
Logan, when you look into the room, what you do notice in particular is that Tell's got a gun. So you're wondering exactly what
That's a little
happened
bit
in this
alarming.
room. What happened in this room? Because
God,
in the
I
room,
love gun.
yeah, there's one guy unconscious, which is Nelson Martel on the far sofa. Ricard's looking super nervous. You got the three wardens who you haven't seen a lot on the other chair, and Tell's got a gun. And when you tried to say hi to Tommy kind of get almost like a little bit of passing. Yeah, okay, whatever. Like he's just showing you a wee bit of an attitude. You don't know why. Rain's just annoyed because she's confused. And the only thing the cams are down at the moment is looking down at Tobin. So yeah.
And Tommy's gonna go over and he's like, since we didn't learn any more from this, he takes his gun back from Telebus, spins it, puts it back in his coat.
Take it off nicely, or do you take it off sort of like passively, like kind of snatch it off?
A little aggressively.
A little aggressively, okay.
But it
Tell,
comes
you
across
basically
it comes
noticed
across
that-
kind of same Rianne energy of that we didn't solve anything with this, so the case is still
Yeah.
open. But I
Okay.
take my gun back. We didn't learn anything
Cool.
from this. I take
Yeah.
my gun back.
Tell you basically notice this. So while Tommy gave you the gun earlier on with a little bit of flair and kind of handed it to you quite easily, this time he's almost kind of half snatching it off you. So it's up to you whether you want to react to that or let it go, or if you put it down to frustration with the mystery or anything else.
I do notice it, and I want to talk about it later. But right now, I want to turn back to the wardens. And
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
I want to talk about it
So-
later.
So this is probably one of the first times Quentin looks up to you and just goes, "Oh, so when Mary is she's just bored. She's bored. Like, you know, she's like, I just want to get out, get back to the docks, get back to my boat." And Cornelius is like, we have a lot to think about today, and we're all going to miss Delilah very, very much. So Tell, what do you want to say?
so I turn back to them, and I talk to Mary directly, and I ask her, "Do you know of anybody who? Do you know of any kind of? I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use, like beef with anybody else."
Who has beef?
Between the wardens?
Yes.
So basically, Mary gives you, without necessarily going line for line, she almost kind of gives you a rundown of all the other wardens and doesn't say a single nice thing about anything. Like everything is sort of sassy and how they kind of annoy her, and you know, you're not quite sure if that's kind of her humor or if she just generally doesn't like them, or she's just bored and frustrated with having to sit here, you know. She was kind of, you don't quite know where she is with you because she seemed really excited to talk to you earlier on when you had the gun, and then your bluff got called, you know. And I was like, oh, a wee bit disappointed, but okay. But if anything, you get the feeling that she kind of likes, you still get a little bit of positive energy from you, so it's almost that kind of joking honesty in that. But anyway, she describes some of it as not a comedic insult. Like they're quite pointed, they're quite snappy, you know. Like Cornelius long stories, Quentin, you know, but this guy's, you know, you take him out of a field and he's got about as much conversation skills as a potato. You know, Nelson seems to get on with Nelson fine. Delilah, you never really got the impression she's not annoyed that she's dead. Not necessarily giddy, but she's like, it just, you know. And Truestorm, like, she just thinks he's just basically a grumpy bastard, and you know, like, tight-fisted and all this sort of stuff, and the amount of headaches and council meetings that we have to do with this thing. She's bored of the bureaucracy, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Going along, you just get the feeling this is not her natural remit, but she's in that position.
Okay. And then I asked the same question the other two. Do you know any ongoing trouble anybody has with anybody else?
I'm going to give you a frustratingly vague answer in line with everything else that he's talked about today. He almost talks about these people like he doesn't really know them, like super vague details. And Cornelius's responses are quite airy-fairy, as he talked about how we all get along and work well together for the good of Daggerford. His are very almost kind of like a politician's answer. It's kind of a mixture between a minister and a politician, which is naturally what he is. There's like an undertone of positivity with a deflective response nature of politicians.
Okay. I take all that in. I yank my coin back from him, and I said, I got my eye on you.
I will look out for you too, my child.
And then, as we're all back together, when we all get back together, I want to kind of give Claude, Logan, and Bo like the rundown of what I think is going on.
Okay, so we'll kind of lead that nicely into this conversation. So everybody, if we're okay, we're back at the Martel residence, all sort of in the same room together. We're going to do basically one sort of kind of quick debrief with an idea of what you guys might want to do next or what you're thinking. And then that'll lead us nicely into our next session.
I think my goal is to see if anybody can find out if Neil is being controlled, if he's been brought back by necromancy and killed, or somebody with more magical abilities or medicine checks can.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
I just tell Claude, Bo, and Logan that I think that what's his name? The other warden that I spoke to.
You talking about Cornelius or Quentin? Cornelius is the one, the religious one. He's the one I think you suspect the most.
Okay. So Cornelius, I suspect, is making the coins, but I can't make that call 100%. He didn't recognize the coin. He did say your dad made them, which is not true because we know that. And he knew about the god that was on the coin, the god of luck, Timera. So he's my highest suspect of who's making the gold, and maybe he's killing or trying to kill somebody so he could put the coins out. Maybe he tried to kill your dad because he's trying to get these coins out. That's my theory, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably need some more investigating.
Need me a gun. I need me a gun and 5 minutes of alone in a room with them.
Speaking of the gun, Tommy, what's going on, brother?
Tommy's like, what do you mean?
You took that gun away from me pretty aggressively earlier. Everything all right?
Well, I thought you were going to get a lot more answers using my gun.
Honestly, I did too. I really did. I thought I was on to something, but I'm not 100% sure. Still, I think he's on our he should be on our watch list. We should keep an eye out on him. Once we find out more, we can start pointing more fingers at him.
When are we gonna get back to this Casera thing? Because we came here, we saw things. Are we done? Like,
Part of the adventure.
I'm kind of moving with the group at this point, and so confused with all these politics, and just like at work, I'll go where you guys go next. But my goal right now is just to get Sarah.
Rian, will you put down your thing in inspiration dice, please? Because I love that. It's just like, I've got a priority. This is it. It ain't this town. And that's fine. Okay, fantastic.
So whenever Claude and Bo got back to the manor before, we're after we secured Nile, I'm just gonna kind of like tell him like, yo, I'm gonna try to figure out what happened in there with my vision, and so I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go take a beat and chill out in another room. And so like
Yeah.
whenever everybody came back, I'm not in the room with him and Nile, so I'm gonna try to like having the hunch like on the way back, realizing that playing or casting or giving bardic inspiration was kind of like that's whenever it happened, like making that association and the
Yeah.
association with my new loot that I got from my what's it called, my battle with George. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go in.
yeah.
I'm gonna go into another room and start just like I'm gonna try to fiddle around with it and see what I can get with it, get out of it. So I'm gonna start like I don't know, investigating it and playing it and seeing what happens.
And Logan, if you want to have a little bit of a think about what you're going to do, I'll ask Tommy first. Tommy, what's your thoughts?
Honestly, Tommy's just is just kind of there at the moment. He's like I said, he's a little he's just because there's so
A
many.
little grumpy. He's a little grumpy.
It's not even angry. It's like there's so many questions of who to trust in this scenario that's happening right here, and then to have the group that you did trust, you have a little distrust with them. It's very just like he is just kind of like
Adult.
I think he was like a group person, like a I'm for the group mentality as we were going, and he's kind of gotten back. He's kind of taken a step back to a more Tommy focused mentality at the moment. So he's with this group, but he's trying to figure out what he wants from or how he's going to help and fit in now. So he's sort of just kind of in his own thoughts. He's not angry. I guess he's not like, because pirates lie all the time. So it's not necessarily that like it's not that the lie happened. It's that no one was willing to then tell him like later on. So he has a little bit of distrust. That's all it is.
I think you're just a water-based entrepreneur.
Yeah. It's too much time on land.
He doesn't say pirate out loud, but he means it.
Yeah.
A water-based entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're out of your element.
Okay. And Logan, any thoughts for this?
Can I just go poke at Niall's face there? Just do a little investigation. Let's see if I can figure out anything else about that, because I'm still hung up on that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
I retcon it, and I didn't leave the room. I'm just gonna like be in the corner.
It's getting that sort of time in the evening now with the search and the end of the party, etc. So you probably look at everybody looking towards a long rest anyway. Okay.
Cool.
And I want to officially award everybody with a beautiful level up from today's session to level 4, I believe. So we've done a lot of stuff, lots of different things. Doesn't necessarily need to be a whole bunch of fighting all the time. But these are doing so much as characters. Absolutely loving it. So level 4
Awesome.
for everybody for the next session.
Yeehaw.
Thank you, Daddy DM.
Some of us earned it. Some of us rode the coattails. Some had 23s. Some had 1s.
I'm sorry. I actually feel bad about that.
Why would you feel bad? Dude, it was so cinematic.
It was so good.
I just pictured Logan. Everything's going so well for him. He's just very Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Just like, just that. Just everything is going perfectly for him.
See, this is what happens. Like, you sit back and you have a good time. You don't have all these ties to things. You don't trust people. You don't really. Can only be disappointed in the people that you like let in.
Only those that are close to you can stab you in the
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Deep.
That's what you get, Tommy,
Yeah.
for making friends.
Okay, cool. Good session, good reactionary session to the last one. Couple of very cool, intricate points in there. Really nice balance of action and social role play. And yeah, so that'll lead us nicely into what are we doing going forward. And will Rain ever get out of this damn town?
Find out next time.
I go from there. Cool. Boom.
I'll be right back, everybody. Thank you. All right. Another session in the book. I appreciate everyone that hung out and lurked and watched. I hope you enjoyed it. The role playing and the action that was going on different spectrums. And now we're level 4, so I got to go find out what a level 4 Tommy looks like. As far as schedule next week, I think I'm gonna be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Keep an eye out for my socials for sure. Yeah, I appreciate everyone that hung out. I hope you have yourselves wonderful weekends, and I'll catch y'all next week.